Mm-hmm.
That's the new one.
Okay. Test. Can you hear me? Test.
It's
Test.
not
Uh,
showing it here. It says it's waiting.
there we go.
I think I hear you.
Test. Test. 1, 2.
Mm.
Test. There we go. There we go. All right.
Yay!
Ended that live stream and started a new one and probably went away. Got to be on YouTube then. Thank you. So hopefully everybody can hear me now. I'm sorry about that. Not sure why we didn't have any sound. All we did was end that live stream and start another one. And it seems like we have sound now. I hope everybody made it over to this new one. I will start over since you didn't hear what I said the first time. We're at the Mustang Heritage Spectacular in Franklin, Tennessee. Can you still hear me okay? On your Okay. Can you hear me on your phone? Am I coming through on your phone? Okay. All right, good deal. Hopefully everybody will come over. We're at the Mustang Heritage Spectacular in Franklin, Tennessee. It was actual driving time was a little over 6 hours coming up yesterday. We stopped to eat, so we probably got here in 7 hours or a little more. Trigger seemed to make the trip really good. He has never been here before. He seemed like he got a good night's sleep. A little rock there. Seemed like he got a good night's sleep. He had shavings in his mane and tail and got some poop stains on him we got to clean up. So it seems like he rested good. Doesn't seem too worried. They're starting the Mustang makeover thing over in the main arena. We're outside in the, I guess this is a practice arena. We were originally going to be showing our classes in this arena, but it's not in very good shape. It needs a whole lot of track work. So they're moving us into the main arena. Don't know the schedule yet, when we'll show. I'd like to get him in that arena before we show. I always like to ride him in the arena where I'm going to show, and that was my plan for today, was to ride him in here. I hear they're playing the national anthem in there to get started in there. But anybody's got any questions about anything, put it in the comments. I hope everybody made it over from the other live stream. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Not sure what was going on there. We'll be showing in the open ranch riding and the open trail. That is all for older Mustangs. They have the extreme Mustang makeover stuff going on at the same time at this show. They have a lot of vendors. If you're local to the area, you might want to come watch some of it. It's pretty neat. A lot of neat stuff going on. This isn't the first show we've hauled Trigger to. We've brought him to a couple of other shows, and he handled those really good. So it's kind of doing the same thing this time. I'm sure there's going to be some really nice horses here. Going to be some nice horses to see show. I'm really excited about watching some of the Mustang makeover competition. That's going to be really good. And there's some vendors here. So it's a really nice event to come watch. So normally when I get to showgrounds, we like to get in enough time that the horse can get some rest from traveling, since we had a little ways to come, and we did that last night. And my plan for today is to ride him in the arena that we'll be showing in tomorrow. So now that I found out we're riding in the big arena in there instead of this arena, then I'll figure out a time that I can ride him in there so he can see it. He's never been in an indoor coliseum like that, so he needs to see that. He has shown in some indoor arenas, but that one is air conditioned with a mezzanine with vendors set up all the way around. So there's some things in there he's never seen before. I'll have to expose him to that before we start. I don't like to do a whole bunch of obstacle training on the obstacles that we're going to be showing. I'll make sure he'll get off my hands, get off my legs. I haven't seen what the trail pattern is. I don't know what we'll have to do. Make sure that he'll let me throw a rope, drag a log, if they have any of that kind of stuff in the pattern. I don't know yet. We just have to practice and get him the best that I think he can be tomorrow. That's really all we can do, and try to prepare him as best we can. Like I talked about in the video I did up the other day of him. Once you get to a show, that's too late to do any training. You've got to do your training before the show. At this point, it's just a matter of getting him comfortable being here so that he can do the best that he can do that he's been trained to. Any questions yet? Okay. Are people getting changed over from the other one? We got many people come over? Okay. So he is a Mustang, a BLM Mustang, and this is his brand right here. The first symbol up here is Bureau of Land Management. These two, one number over another number. You can Google decoding a Mustang brand, and it'll show you what each one of these symbols, they all correspond with the number. The next section is the year he was born, and then this string of numbers right here with the line under it, that is basically his registration number. And you can look at the chart and see which number each one of these converts over to. And from that chart, you can tell where he was taken out of the wild. He was actually, his mama was taken out of the wild, and he was born in captivity. So he never actually lived in the wild, which I think could be why he's a little bit more, he doesn't have a lot of that wild instinct that a lot of Mustangs have. He loves his stall. He is very domesticated for a Mustang. Loves people. A lot of Mustangs have little quirks, like they're hard to catch and things like that, but he's not. He likes to be doing things. And our stalls are right over here in this building. The main show arena is here. I-65 is right there. I can see the cars go by. We're right by the interstate. And so there's a lot of traffic right here. A lot of stuff for him to see, a lot of distractions. And so far, he was a little worried when I first got on him. He was kind of looking around, taking things in. But see, he's starting to settle down and look a lot like he looks at home. Are any of the horses ever for sale? I believe I'm not as into the Mustang makeover stuff as a lot of people are. I think most of the horses that go through the Mustang makeover are sold. I'm not exactly sure how they're sold, maybe an auction, or I'm not sure. But yeah, there are some that sold. The horses that are showing in the open show that I'm showing in, they're all owned by individuals. The way the BLM Mustangs work, you adopt a Mustang and there's a small adoption fee. And after a period of time, you get the actual certificate of ownership. Then you own that horse. In that time frame, it's almost like you're a foster home, and you have to abide by their rules of taking care of the horse. They want to make sure that you're providing for what that horse needs. Sometimes they'll come out and do some inspections, sometimes not. When you adopt one, you have to have some requirements for your fence panels. Yeah, there's requirements for the trailer you haul them home in, requirements for how you handle them. And these are the ones that you're adopting that are basically unhandled. And then after a period of time, then you get the certificate of title for them. And then they're your horse. Trigger, if I'm not mistaken, he was captured in Wyoming, and through whatever process, I'm not exactly sure, he was actually started in a prison in Idaho. I assume the prison has some kind of working relationship with the BLM for that arrangement. He was started there. He They did a really good job starting him. He doesn't have any issues that I think go back to when he was originally started. They did a really good job with him. And from there, he went to Utah. And then from Utah, he went to the current owner. So that's his history. He's, I think, 7. I'm not positive. I think he's 7, somewhere around there. So he is basically at his second owner, and I don't see him ever going to another home. His owner has been looking for this type of Mustang for a long time. He's been a long time supporter of the Mustang Heritage Foundation, and he had to go through several that just weren't what he was looking for before he found this one. Mustangs are kind of quirky. They're not for everybody, and sometimes you've got to go through a few before you find the right one. A lot of people don't realize how they are. They're different. If you've never owned anything but like quarter horses and paints, and you get a Mustang, you're going to see they're a lot different, and they're good horses. They're just different, and you have to kind of adapt to that. Most horses are not as domesticated as what Trigger is here. So I've just been kind of walking some right circles. Really, all I want to do today is I want him to see everything. I don't really want to school him a whole lot on the obstacles. I'll walk lope some when we get in there, but I'm not going to make anything really hard. I want this new place to be easy. I want him to not worry about being here. So we're going to take everything in, let him realize everything is okay, and let him see it all. And I hope everybody's come over from the other live. When I get done with this, I'll go in and I'll delete the other one so people don't mix up the two. But that's pretty much the plan for today. We'll be showing tomorrow. The plan for today is to get him as comfortable as I can with the new environment here. If I can get him as comfortable with the environment here as what he is at home, then he should ride here just like he rides at home. Just like I said before, I always have the same warm-up routine. Always going to walk, always going to move the body around. It's the exact same routine. When I place new like this, and I go into that routine, you see me, I'm just walking. I go into that routine, and then the horse is like, okay, I understand what I'm supposed to do, and they generally relax pretty quick. Some of them take longer than others, generally pretty quick. And he has done pretty much what I would expect him to do at a new place. I'm sure there's going to be some really good horses here. I'm looking forward to seeing the competition. And any questions? Okay, so you have to have, what was it, a 5-foot fence? If yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what that program is. I know that's basically handled from some people with some working relationship with the BLM. I believe it's a 6-foot fence if you're getting them from an adoption facility. Yeah, and a 1-year waiting list to get your certificate. I know there's a lot of people out there that knows a whole lot more about that than I do. I haven't personally been through the adoption process. I've owned a couple of Mustangs, but they all came from individuals, and of course I've trained a whole bunch of them. So it's a good program, but you have to kind of go into it with your eyes open and understand what you're getting involved in. You're basically taking a wild animal and gentling that animal back down. It's not like going and buying a quarter horse or another kind of horse. It's a lot different, but it's rewarding to take a Mustang out of the wild and do that with. And I'm not going to get into the politics of overpopulation on the ranges and all that. That's not what we're here for. That's for another debate. I just want to do what I can with the Mustangs that come through my program, and just like every other horse, make every horse be as good as that horse can be. They're just sitting here. There's some people walking around over there and going in and out the door to the big arena, and this is what I wanted to see right here. He is relaxed and pretty much just taking things in just like he does at home. I think one of the worst things you can do with a horse that you're starting to haul, I think he's been hauled 4 or 5 times. So he's been hauled, but he's not like he's a veteran at it. One of the worst things that you can do is get a horse into the new place and just do a lot of loping and try to lope them down like you would a horse in the round pen, so that they basically are just so exhausted that they can't understand what's going on and take those things in. If you give a horse the chance to really understand it, then you're really getting them accustomed to it or broke to something. In one of the last videos I've done, it was the Shazam. Robert was stepping up and down, and you could see Shazam was real worried. And a couple of times, Robert just paused for just a second, just a pause to give Shazam a chance to take in what was happening, and then Robert could go on. It's the same thing right here. Just giving him a chance to look at it, understand that whatever he's looking at it is not going to hurt him. And once he understands that, we're all good. Now, there are a lot more reactive horses, and I've had quite a few of them myself, that you can't really let them just stand and take stuff in as easily as this horse. Now, I walked him probably 10 minutes before we went on live the first time, just waiting for 9 o'clock to get here. But just walk, let him take it in. In a lot of my videos, like when we were working with Phantom getting on, and Phantom had that nervous energy, and we were mounting him while he was walking, and we were not making him stand still, because you try to make him stand still in that situation, you're just balling up that energy, you're balling up that fear. And it's the same thing with a horse like this in this situation. I'm not going to, the first time I got on, and you might have saw the second time I got on, he walked around. I didn't fuss at him. I didn't really do anything. He's in a new place. He's got a little worry. I'm not going to fuss at him for that. So just give him a chance to kind of relax and take things in, and then everything's going to go good. Any more questions? Nope. I think not a lot of people came over from the first live. I apologize for that. We started the first live and we were having a sound issue. Not sure what it was. I stopped that live and started this new one, and the sound was there. So I apologize for that. I'm not sure what was going on there. So we found out this morning that we're not showing in this arena because of it being in such poor condition. We're going to show in the main arena. And I'd like to get him in that arena at some point before we show. It might be late tonight after they finish in there, but I want to ride him in there. This arena is in really bad shape. It's really dry, and there's mud clumps that are really hard. It's almost like rocks. Probably a good tractor operator would have this going, would have it by tomorrow, but most show organizations that's putting on a show, they're very limited in their help. It's hard to get help. It's a lot of work. And if this is helping for this kind of organization, is something you would be interested in, contact them. I'm sure they would appreciate having the help. It's a lot of work to put on these shows. And it's a good organization to back. Lope like in a cutting warm-up pin, yeah. So you go to a cutting and they have the end of the arena paneled off, cutting's going on there. And at the other end of the arena, people are just loping in circles around and around and around. And for what I do, that's a very poor situation because the horse is constantly in that circle. He's getting his body arced and stays in that arc, and you lope one direction for however long, and then you might get to lope the other direction some. And that type of warm-up situation is not good for these type of shows. We need to be able to get straight. We need to get the horse accustomed to what's going on. When you're showing and cutting, once you get that cow in front of you, that horse knows his job. He knows what he's going to do. We're going to be showing in trail, and so we're going to have obstacles we're going to have to do, and we'll be showing in ranch riding. So we need to perform walk, trot, and lope as if we were doing a job on the ranch. And to do that good, the horse needs to be able to think about what I'm asking him to do, no matter what's going on around the outside. So totally different situation than warming up at a cutting. Some of the stock horse shows we go to have some cutting classes, and I try to warm up outside of that situation. That's good for cutting horses. It's not good for most other situations. Yeah, my classes, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have just joined in. I'll be showing in ranch trail and ranch riding. So I have not found the ranch trail pattern. When we get done here, I'm going to go up to the show office and see if I can get the pattern there. I don't know what we'll be doing. Normally in ranch trail, there are obstacles, walk, trot, or lope over some logs, sometimes throwing a rope, sometimes dragging a log, sometimes loading in a horse trailer, might be dismounting and remounting. It could be just about anything you can think of that would simulate working on a ranch. That would be ranch trail. And ranch riding, basically they're judging the quality of the horse's movement out of walk, trot, and lope for the movements that you would want on a ranch. So let's say you've got to go 5 miles to get to the pasture where the cows are, and then you've got to work the cows. Well, the judge wants to see a movement that's forward movement that's going to get you to that ranch, that's going to get you to that pasture to do that work, but that you and the horse are not going to be too exhausted to do what you have to do when you get there. So they want to see movement with some forward progress that actually gets somewhere. It's not like Western pleasure movement speed-wise you need to get there, but it needs to look like it's not going to wear you out by the time you get there. So that's what they're judging there. Any other questions? So we'll be trying to get what video we can of the show that's going on. As far as what we're showing, we're not going to video the show itself. We're going to video my stuff, and I'll probably do some live clips, or I'll post some clips, and we'll get it posted so you can see how Trigger does and the classes we show in. Let's walk around, Trigger. And we'll get that posted so you can see. And I apologize for the problem with the audio on the first live. I think we had quite a few people ready to watch it. But I'll keep you, I'll let you know what goes on throughout the show over the weekend. We'll show tomorrow, and we'll show again on Saturday. And I'll let you know how it goes. Until next time, thank you for watching.